Raider Nation, what's going on? You're watching the Raiders Report, and before we get into my 5 wide receivers that the Raiders could potentially go out and trade for to help replace Bryan Edwards, this video was released on Rumble on Tuesday. So if you want exclusive videos before they come out on YouTube, what I want you to do is go ahead and give us a follow on Rumble, rumble.com/Raiders Report. If you're watching this on YouTube on Friday, well, hey, shout out to you. You can also go ahead and hit that subscribe button. So what I decided to do here is go a little bit of a different route, and I decided to break down 5 wide receivers that the Raiders could go ahead and potentially target in a trade. I'm not saying that the Raiders should do it. I'm simply saying that it is an option out there. And all 5 of these players are guys that you could probably get on the cheap end. So when you look at the current Raiders wide receiver room, you got Davante Adams, you know Hunter Renfrow. These are your top 2 guys. But essentially what it comes down to is, do you trust? Do you believe in Demarcus Robinson? Do you believe in Mack Hollins? Do you believe in Keelan Cole? If your answer is no to all 3 of those wide receivers, then your other options could be as simple as, who knows, going out in free agency. Now, I like Demarcus Robinson. He's a good athlete. The Raiders went ahead and they signed him. Explosive athlete, could stretch the field a little bit. But if you're looking for more of a route runner, well, hey, Keelan Cole, he's your option. If you want more of a red zone option, then it's Mack Hollins. If all 3 of those players was like, Mitch, nope, I don't trust them. I don't think it's the route that the Raiders should ultimately end up going with. We know who the guys are, who the main guys are. And if you're not confident in those wide receivers, then you could trade for a receiver. And if you don't like any of the players that I suggested in my free agency video, my top 5 receivers that the Raiders could go out and sign in free agency, then I really truly think that you're going to like the video. If you're wondering what does it look like, this is what the thumbnail on the video on YouTube looks like. If you didn't like any of those options, then your only other option is to go out and trade for a receiver, which is what you're going to be seeing here. So I got 5 wide receivers that the Raiders could go ahead and they could try to trade for before the 2022 season starts. What I'm going to be breaking down is how much money it's going to cost, how much we probably have to get up to get them, and none of these dudes you're going to have to give up that much for. So we are live here on Rumble, and this video is released on Rumble first, and I don't know about y'all, I hate the Chiefs, FKC, and I hate losing to the Chiefs Report. Here on Rumble, the Raiders Report, we're down like 500 followers. Let's change that. So please, I am begging you, go to rumble.com/Raiders Report, hit that follow button. That way we can catch up to the Chiefs Report. So the first player that I'm going to go ahead and talk about here is Nelson Agholor. He was phenomenal with DC. He was great with the Raiders in 2020. He does still have 1 year left on his deal with the New England Patriots, and this is going to be the most expensive player that I bring up. If the Raiders go out and they trade for him, also, there's not a single player on this list that I'm giving up anything more than a 6th-round pick in 2023. If Bryan Edwards is going to go for if we're only going to get a 5th-round pick in return for him, 6th rounder. It's the most I'm giving up. Now, the reason why I'm a little bit more okay, $9 million for Agholor, is because back in 2020, this guy was phenomenal, man. He was a field stretcher, 48 grabs, 896 yards, an average of 18.68 touchdowns. If it wasn't for a bad drops and a few bad calls, this guy would have been over 1,000 yards and over double-digit touchdowns. So, here's my question. Would you want the Raiders to go out and trade for Nelson Agholor, knowing that you're going to have to give up draft capital, knowing that it's going to cost $9 million? Type Y for yes, type N for no. I'll say this. $9 million trade for Nelson Agholor, or $9 million go out and sign a player like Odell Beckham Jr. The next player coming up here is also somebody on the New England Patriots, and what I tried to do here is find guys that I think you could get for cheap and get dudes who have had multiple trade rumors around him. N'Keal Harry, the wide receiver out of Arizona State, he was the 1st-round pick by New England back in 2019, and you just got to face it. He has not lived up to the hype. I also know this. If Bill Belichick and that room has struggled doing anything, it's being able to find number 1 receivers. So the fact that he's in the last year of his rookie deal, the fact that it would only cost $1.87 million, I think it's an interesting option. And if you're actually trying to replace Edwards, here's a big body. 6'4", 225 pounds. I liked him a lot more than I liked Bryan Edwards when they were coming out of the draft. And he has done nothing. So to me, The fact that New England went out and they traded for Devontae Parker, that tells you all you need to know about N'Keal Harry. They're done with N'Keal Harry. You could get him, I'm telling you, a first-round pick in the 2019 draft, get it for a sixth-rounder, maybe even a seventh-round pick. It's worth a gamble to me if you're not confident in the other receivers you already have on your roster. Let's go to the next guy here. It's Andy Isabella, and I've talked about him a few times here on the show. Drafted in round 2, I believe number 62 overall, and the 2019 draft, a lot of speed. You want a speedster? I get it. He's a little bit undersized, but this dude ran a 4.31 40-yard dash. The Cardinals, what did they do? They went out and they traded for Hollywood Brown. And I get the idea that DeAndre Hopkins is suspended for the first few games of the season, so maybe they're not as willing to trade away Andy Isabella. Maybe they also don't want to because Christian Kirk went ahead and they signed with the Jacksonville Jaguars. But you know what? Long term, Andy Isabella ain't sticking around, and you're only going to owe him $1.12 million. And I have liked what I've seen from him. Not only as a field stretcher, he can also run intermediate routes. So last season, played in 8 games, had only 1 catch for 13 yards. Small player, I get it. 5'9", 190 pounds. But I know the talent that Isabella has, and if I believe I can buy low on somebody who can stretch the field, who can be that extra receiver at less than $1.5 million, I like the bargain option there, no doubt about it. So if you guys live in the Bay Area, if you're in San Francisco, if you just want to hang out with me, maybe you're in Oakland, I'm going to be meeting up with Raider fans at Candlestick Sports Bar at 9:30 p.m. this Saturday, May 21st. I'm going to be hanging out with Raider Ron on Sunday, so I flew into the area. I want to meet up with some Raider Nation people who watch the show. So I will be in San Francisco this Saturday, and actually I'm looking at my social media, and I'm trying to figure out people who are coming. So I got everyone tuning in. So Candlestick Sports Bar at 9:30 p.m. Meet me Saturday, May 21st. Hopefully, I see you there. Let's go to the next player here. It's Denzel Mims. He was drafted in round 2 in the 2020 draft out of Baylor. And this is somebody who actually had some round 1 hype, and I know he was really, really excited to see what could ultimately end up going down. The Jets, though, they have done a lot of things already to tell me that they're kind of done with Denzel Mims. They drafted Garrett Wilson, number 10 overall this year's draft, and he still has 2 years left on his deal. But Denzel was a player who had extreme upside to me, and he has that field stretching ability. You would owe him $1.1 million this year, $1.35 next year. So, sure, you're tied to him for the next 2 seasons. But he's 6'3", 207 pounds, had a really solid 40 time for that size. And I see the upside being there. And if I'm a player who has this much athletic ability, if you can turn Nelson Agholor to what the Raiders did, why would your agent or why would a player not have at least some of that interest as well? Speaking of the Philadelphia Eagles and Nelson Agholor, here's the player who I think I would want maybe the most. And in terms of the player that I think you could get as the best overall value, because I think the Eagles are kind of done with him. The Eagles drafted him number 20 overall in the 2020 draft. So a first-round pick over a guy like Justin Jefferson. The Eagles have already traded for A.J. Brown this offseason. They picked Devonta Smith in the first round in 2021. Yes, the Raiders would owe him $1.82 million this season, and you would owe him $2.42 million in next season. But for somebody who's 5'11", 200 pounds, who ran a 4.47 40, do I think that he should have gone in the first round? Maybe not. But you can buy low, and I am all about buying low. That's what I am simply trying to do here. Last season, 33 grabs, 299 yards, 2 touchdowns. Guess what? Howie Roseman, he likes to be aggressive, and I like to be aggressive. And if I think that I can add a player who I believe is a legit talent, which all these players have talent, they're just bad situations, and I can buy low on, that's what I try to do here on today's show. So tell me, those were 5 receivers. Are there other talented guys out there? Yes, but I'm not trying to spend a lot of money because I want to save my money. That way you can go out and use that extra draft capital or use the extra money that you get after June 1st and still go out and sign other top free agents. So let me know down in the comment section right now, name a wide receiver the Raiders should go out and trade for. Now, I listed 5 players: Nelson Agholor, N'Keal Harry, Andy Isabella, Denzel Mims, and Jalean Reagor. Out of those 5 names, which wide receiver would you trade for? Because, again, I'm going to essentially say all 5 of these players are worth, let's say, a 6th-round pick in 2023. Nelson Agholor at $9 million. N'Keal Harry, Andy Isabella, Denzel Mims for about $1.3 million this year, or Jalean Reagor for $1.8 million. Let me know which receiver you'd want.